Hello intuitive souls, this is Rachel Sahwany. Welcome to my channel, Intuitive Soul Rising, where I share channeled messages for soul growth and ascension and spiritual tips on how to open and expand your intuitive abilities. Today I'm going to channel a message from JOAN of ARC, which is going to be an energy update for the month of December 2021. JOAN of ARC is a powerful guide to call on if you are wanting to learn how to speak your truth and just have a guide in your life who is strong, powerful, and knows how to help you really align with your higher self and your highest mission and purpose in life. So when I do my energy updates, I always ask for a guide to step forward who has a message to share with us. And in this case, it was JOAN of ARC. She came through very strongly, and then just to be clear and confirm her presence, I pulled her card 3 times in a row. So very obvious that she was the one who wanted to step through today. All right, so I've already asked her to step forward, and I definitely feel very strong energy coming from the front, and a lot of heart expansion today with her energy. All right, so I'm just going to ask her what messages she has to share for us, what's important to know about this next month, the month of December. And I'm hearing wait, and I'm seeing like a stop sign coming out, like a feeling of like halt. So I'm curious what that means. And she's also saying vision, expanding your vision. So she's clarifying and saying she wants us to take the time to use this time, this month is a good time, she's saying, to stop, check in with self, and clarify our vision to get higher results, to see a higher outcome, to see a more expansive, to expand our vision, to become more expansive in our ability to see beyond what is even immediately in front of us. So she's saying this is a time of looking forward to the future and utilizing or being aware of what is in our present moment or our present moment circumstances and how those circumstances. So she's saying being able to see or envision a pathway forward through your current set of circumstances that will lead you to a higher outcome. A more expanded point of view is necessary in these times. And it is a time of self-reflection. And she's highlighting the dark. So the fact that in December there's more dark than there is light, or we get to a point in December where it's the longest day. So she's saying utilizing the darkness or this cycle of darker times in that sense where there's less light is symbolic of reflection, personal reflection. What do you identify with? She's saying self-identity. So self-identification is the word she's using. And she's wanting you to question who you are, who you are identifying as in your life, what labels you're putting upon yourself that may be limiting your ability to see clearly or to see as a visionary, someone who is able to expand their point of view, to grasp multidimensional aspects of yourself. So she's showing that we're moving into a period where the integration process is very important at this time. it's important that we're seeking out new experiences, new ways of being that are helping us to highly tune our awareness and our senses to what it is we want to accomplish, what is our mission, what are our goals, our personal goals. So this is a very personal process. She's really highlighting taking time to go into like individuals for your individual self. So not focusing so much on the collective necessarily and what might be going on in the world, but really looking at what's going on in your internal world, your internal way of being, and your internal framework. So the lens that you're viewing the world, or the way you've shaped, the way the world has shaped you and created your own unique perspective, being willing to go within, and she's like showing tapping into the well of unconscious material that is there for us. So she's showing like meditation work is important at this time, just going into deep thought, allowing your soul to speak through you. So she's highlighting unlimited potential for growth in the new year, when one focuses on like hibernation and rebirth. So now is the time to go within the cocoon of yourself, within the solace of yourself. She's saying many of you on a soul level are seeking solace, are seeking refuge from the storm, refuge from the chaos surrounding you. She's highlighting there's an important battle going on. It's a battle of light and dark. It's perceived as that. It's a battle of good and evil, supposedly, like is what she's kind of describing it as, or how we view it as, is what she's saying. But she's also highlighting that the lighter aspects of self are going to serve you in helping you to have those breakthrough moments where so she's saying, well, you're not so intensely focused on what you need to change, but you're just sort of allowing these shifts to occur naturally. So again, the emphasis is on going with the flow and not trying too hard. She's saying the word hard is key here in understanding what is being asked of you. It's more like a state of allowance, a state of being where you are accepting of your conditions, but also seeking change and outward growth. So seeking to understand your hidden potential. So seeking to unlock within you the doors you have kept secret, the doors you have kept shut. So she's asking what doors are ready to open. She's saying this is the question to ask yourself and ask your guides. What doors are ready to open? What opportunities are ready to be given to me in the new year? So she's saying setting your sights on new opportunities and new ways of growing and being, and setting your goals to move in a forward direction, which would be progressive. So not staying too comfortable with where you're at or staying within your comfort zone, but being willing to express yourself in a way that is seeking integration of all these multidimensional aspects of yourself that are desiring a voice, that are needing a voice within, that are needing a form of expression, a medium of expression, to serve the greater good. So the highest outcome always comes back to how can we be in service of the greater good of humanity, and that is by being in service to ourselves in a way that helps us to better understand ourselves, to better know ourselves, to know what makes us happy, what gives us a feeling of fulfillment and joy and peace within, is always the correct route or direction, not necessarily to get stuck in a way or an old pattern of believing that may be ready to die or be reborn again. So being willing to shed the layers that want to shed, to find our true selves again, for our true selves to come forth in a new way of a new form of expression that is in higher alignment with our path. So she's saying the path is always presenting itself in new ways, in ways that will test our evolution or our capabilities. So in ways that will push our evolution forward. So we're not going to be staying in the same place too many times. So she's also highlighting, physically moving, being in transit, shifting from one location to the next, or being aware of the places in our lives or the areas in our lives that are seeking change for our growth, for our inner growth to blossom. We may need to move. We may need to switch jobs. We may need to switch where we're focusing our time and attention. And she's shifting them to things that bring us joy and heart, bring joy in our heart and peace of mind to our souls. So just being willing to go with the changes and to seek change if there are areas in our lives that are feeling that are just not giving us what we deserve and what we need to feel in alignment. So I'm going to see if there's anything specific that we should know about the energy, like the energy forecast, what's going on in the collective that we should prepare for or be aware of. She's saying just that it's going to continue to get more chaotic. She's highlighting protests are getting greater numbers. We're going to witness protesting in greater numbers, of voices to be heard. She's saying that's a real theme coming out, not just in December of this year, but moving into the new year and moving forward into next year. It's going to be the theme really for next year. It feels like it's about speaking your truth. And she's really highlighting and underlining that, speaking your truth, your inner voice to be heard. Learning how to speak clearly with strength and conviction. What it is you want, what it is you need will serve you moving forward in these times to come. She's saying get used to being put on the spot. Get used to being forced to choose a side in a sense, or stand your ground, maybe is more the correct way of saying it. Because she's also highlighting the need to be neutral and accepting and non-judgmental in our ability to speak our truth, but to hold our ground and to hold steady with our truth and our voice. So even if your voice shakes, even if your voice wavers, she's saying it's okay. That is helping to clear the fear and cleanse the fear. There's a lot of attachments to just the idea of speaking out loud your truth. There's a lot of hidden fears that we essentially have repressed over lifetimes on earth of not of being beaten down for speaking our truth. So even if your voice shakes, she's saying speak it, because you're clearing that pathway you're clearing, she's showing the throat chakra is being cleansed and healed through each time you voice your truth clearly from the heart, and you use, like, you speak with power and conviction, and it's just like being in the moment, authentic. Your authentic presence in the moment is part of your ability to share with others the truth of your heart. So knowing when you're being authentic and when you're maybe giving in to the ego's needs to feel safe and coddled, or just safe in the comfort zone, not speaking out too loud for fear of rejection. She's saying that's part of the belief that is crumbling or needing to let go of. But she's really showing this as like an expanded process. So it's not just like in one month you're going to get this all together. She's just showing this as a steady, gradual learning process, a growing process where there's like growing pains involved in that, and we just have to learn to get more comfortable living from that place of power, and the willingness to be our authentic self, and willingness to share our vulnerability in a way that is like safe for others to hear. So not in an aggressive way, but in an assertive way when necessary. And she's highlighting boundaries. So I think when she's saying being assertive with our boundaries is part of speaking our truth and keeping ourselves in alignment with our higher selves and our mission. So just being willing to be ourselves and being honest about who we are, and being willing to share that with others, even if they might have a different point of view, learning how to share that perspective without pulling energy from other people, or without knocking them down, or without the feeling is like sacrificing like part of ourselves or losing part of ourselves in the process. Like really learning how to stand up for what we believe in a way that is empowering for all, is what she's saying. So it's not taking anything away from anybody else. It's just showing the believing in yourself and what you have to share and what you have to offer, and what is right for you, and knowing how to align with that in a way that is honest, truthful, kind, compassionate, but powerful, but strong nonetheless. So inner strength, she's saying, is very important in these times. Holding a steady ground, being strong within, not being easily shaken up by the words or the energy that might come at you. She's showing like being rattled, not being easily rattled. And she's showing also like holding a sword of protection, not like in a fighting manner, but just like holding your sword upright like this in front of you, and kind of creating that barrier, that shield. And she's saying you can even do this, create a practice or a ritual around this, where you do this to kind of like visualize you creating this blue shield or of light around you, holding that sword of truth, and even calling in Archangel Michael to help you create that energy field around you that is a protective energy field and a barrier to, she's showing it works in two ways. One, it emphasizes and amplifies is the word, the energy of the throat chakra. So it brings life into the throat chakra, it clears the throat chakra, and it allows the throat chakra to be heard and amplified, the words that come through. That's one thing that the blue light does, the blue frequency, but it also serves as a protective barrier for setting boundaries when it comes to not letting other words, people's words of other people affect you so strongly, or their actions even. It shows like the words would bounce right off of that shield and boomerang back to the person who whose intentions maybe may or may not have been bad, but just in general, the words may have been hurtful to you, or weakened your aura somehow. So it strengthens your aura, and it strengthens your ability to stand your ground, is what she's saying and showing. And she just keeps saying how important that is at this time, and how she as a guide is really like, this is her greatest responsibility right now for humankind, is really helping us to stand within our truth, stand strong within our truth, stand our ground, set our boundaries, speak our truth authentically, express that, hold that steady and stable and in alignment with our higher selves and our highest mission. And it's really, our highest mission is to really raise the frequency of everybody on the planet. So we need to be always focused on our own frequency and aware of the cleansing process and the healing process that we may need to do when it comes around speaking our truth. So she's showing that it's not just about like standing your ground, but it's about knowing your truth also, and knowing the difference between what is or isn't your truth, knowing when it's time for healing, when it's time for a cleansing process, a renewal process, when it's time to let go of outdated beliefs or ideas about yourself and who you are that aren't in alignment with who you truly are or are seeking to be. If you're seeking to be stronger in certain ways, then you want to look at the beliefs and the self-talk and the ways of thinking that are holding you back. So again, it's always a process of letting go of fear and rising to the occasion. So remembering who you are, aligning with your higher self, and rising up from the depths of the darkness to be reborn again in the light of truth, she's saying. So speak your truth, she says, speak your truth. This is really the gist of her message, but there's layers to that. There's different levels to that. And again, she's saying she doesn't expect everybody to just go out there and, stand on the front lines, protesting or shouting or whatever it is. But it's just a deep knowing within when you are truly in alignment with the person you want to be, or our higher self, or what your soul is calling you to do, that you're being, there's going to be many tests of faith in this area, especially because speaking your truth is going to become a very important component of being able to move this ascension movement forward. So people are ascending, and through that process, they're learning to align with their higher truths of who they are. And as they're remembering these truths, they're learning how to speak these truths and become more open and public with everyone in their life, so that they can again serve on the front lines. If you feel that that's what you're being called to do, and in this case, serving on the front lines is just referring to being more vocal and open and honest about what it is you believe in and what you want the world to be like, and what you want to create in the world, or what changes you want to see happen in the world. And this is very much also about, protesting too, because it's about, sharing your vision for the new earth, is what she's saying, in a more open and honest way, not shying away from opportunities to speak about this, and to open up conversations around this, but to be more present and available to share this truth about what is right. So what you want for the future of mankind, and the vision of the new earth that you want to create, and you want to be a part in creating, a co-creator, is what she's saying. then it will be necessary to shed any resistance or fear towards speaking about these topics to other people, because it's going to be required. More numbers are required to make changes in the physical. More people are going to be needing to speak up about what they don't align with, or what decisions are being made that they don't resonate with. And she's pointing to like government policies and mandates and things like this. It's going to become more important than ever for people to be willing to stand up for their own human rights and advocate for themselves. And she's going back to sovereign unto self is really the ultimate goal for humankind, is to live in a peaceful world where everyone is their own sovereign to themselves and able to make decisions that are right for them and then for the collective. So knowing this is where we're going and headed, it's more important than ever that we learn how to shed whatever resistance we have to speaking our truth moving forward. Okay, so I'll just see if there's any last words that she'd like to share with us. That was a powerful message. She's saying no, but she's pointing to the heart. So just remember, when you speak from the heart, you're speaking your truth. It's not as hard as it sounds, but it's more like she's pushing us to kind of step it up a notch. She wants us to just take it to the next level. So if we're feeling hesitancy towards moving more forward with our light, she wants us to look at the reasons why. She wants us to do some self-reflection, use this time period in this next month to really think about why are we afraid to move in that direction if it is what our heart desires, what's holding us back, and what needs to be released in order for us to be able to take that next step out of our comfort zone. So is there anything else then? So no, it's just about honoring yourself, though, is what I'm hearing. It's like self-honor and integrity and self-love, having love for yourself. Being willing to advocate for your own needs is very important, is an important aspect, she's saying, of self-love and what that means. So just something to consider. But I do feel her stepping back now. So I think that was an awesome message from Joan of Arc. I don't channel her very often, but she was really pushy about wanting to step forward today. So I'm really happy that she did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that message also. And if it did resonate for you, I would love to hear in the comments below, or even any messages that you got from Joan of Arc. If you're channeling her also, let us know. And thanks again for being here. Thanks again for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do. And please be sure to like the video so more people can find this information. Thank you again, and we will see you next time. Bye.